Sorry, I'm talking to a duck. He wants me to rescue him from all the people. Are you just gonna fly away? He looks like he's gonna... There he goes. He's had enough. Anyway. So these two, when you start to digest them back, so your body goes into ketosis and autophagy, and all the fatty tissues that have mineralized into these rock wool pillows, fatty rock wool pillows, they feel like pumice. They're kind of heavy, and they clump and they mummify around your organs, restricting movement and restricting stretchy flow. And when you start to digest them back, they become spiny. They have serrated edges which are sharp, and they serrate your nerves, which are painful, and you lose muscle control, which you can repair overnight. So it's this constant tide of damage to your nerves and repair. So it's an exhausting disease, because every time your nerves are damaged, it's like it's attacking your brain. Your brain just switches off. You can't speak properly, you can't think properly, you can't even get out of bed in the mornings, because your executive function is really difficult. I started thinking about how other people must feel when they're diagnosed with tumoral pseudo-gout, which is an extremely rare disease, and it only occurs in metastatic blood cancer, because it has the same metabolism as cancer. So every time you eat, about 20 minutes after you eat, it ferments carbohydrates, it ferments and glutamine, and produces waste acids, succinic acid and lactic acid, which then has to be neutralized by the body using this mineralization process. And I've been doing a bunch of research to figure out how to disable this mechanism, and I'll get to that in another video, because I think I need to do some illustration work to demonstrate my theory about this process. But anyway, since I got the diagnosis, there were a couple of things that were going on. First of all, there was, immediately after diagnosis, it was like I was just forgotten. There's no cure, there's no treatment, and the expectation is I will eventually get disfigured and disabled. I'm already in a wheelchair if I'm out and about, because I'm a fall risk. I lose control of my nerves and I can't walk, and I don't know when that's going to happen, because these tumors are active, and even if they're not active, your body is trying to digest them, and that reveals the spines and the serrations which injure your nerves. So I don't know if I'm going to take one step that gets my nerves serrated and I end up falling. And it's painful, because your nerves hurt when they're injured. But the second thing that was going on was, there are a few people diagnosed with this, and usually it accompanies leukemia. Hi, basketball guy. I'm just trying to video log this journey in the hopes that if I really do fight this disease, that there is a path for other people to follow, because I'm already defying expectations. Like I said, there is no cure, there's no treatment for this disease, this rare form of metastatic tumoral pseudo-gout, which is fossilizing my fatty tissue. And every time the body tries to fight them back, these mineralized pillows become pitted and corroded back, and they become very sharp, and they serrate my nerves, and it causes me a lot of pain, and loss of movement, and I'm falling. My knees are just destroyed. So I have a friend in the UK who said to me she knows someone with this disease, and it took away one of his eyes. I actually had a foci in my left eye, and when my body tried to digest it back, the mineralized calcium crystals moved their way out of my eye through the waterline of my eyelid. Hi, Cambry. And it was like literally needles were coming out my eye. Painful. It can make you go blind. It can take away your eyesight. And luckily those needles didn't penetrate my eyes, they came through the eyelid. But my friend Charlie, who's been on the stream with me, they penetrate his optic rotation from the medical perspective in Western medicine is that you'll eventually be disfigured and you can't regress these tumors because they're mineralized. And I don't believe it. I don't believe it because there's Chinese techniques that talk about these rocks in the body. They literally call them rocks in the body. They feel like pumice stone. I've been doing all these different techniques and I have actually regressed some of the tumors, but that process is super painful because, like I said, they're inside your body and they serrate your nerves. So I have to pace the tumors I want to regress because it's a painful process. They grow blindly. Your body doesn't feel them growing because they're growing within the fatty tissues. They're kind of pillow shaped. But as your body tries to digest them, the crystals kind of poke out and callus and abrade nerve sheaths and do kinds of damage, including irritate and injure your organs. So I had some organ injury and hopefully there's no scar, so I can still maintain the fight. But there comes a point where you have to balance it, because if your organ gets scarred, then you're gonna struggle to process these tumors and get rid of them. I'm going to have a comparative scan soon, an MRI, where the doctors do a complete map of where all these tumors are and compare it to an MRI I had done around Christmas and really see how much they have changed, which is really funny because when I saw them in the MRI, which is the first instance I knew this was something like cancer, I thought it was cancer. No, there was such a disease that could actually fossilize your insides. I didn't know there was such a thing. So because it wasn't on my radar, I didn't think that there was a form of metastatic tumors that wasn't cancer. But there we go. It behaves just like cancer. The difference is people with blood cancer usually end up with this kind of tumor, because other cancers form tumors, but blood cancer, it's just a ratio of the cells in your body that are not working correctly, and that changes the metabolism of the body. It produces a bunch of acidosis, which has to be neutralized by the body. So the body neutralizes it by pulling mineral out of bone to neutralize. And that's how people die from leukemia, actually. They die because of the mummification of their organs. So the leukemia, the cancer, doesn't kill you. It's the actual damage to the life-sustaining organs, which is what I'm fighting. Even though this isn't technically a cancer, it behaves just like cancer. So I'm just going to call it cancer because people don't know what this is. It's too rare. It's so rare that there isn't a treatment for it. The prognosis is you have comorbidities, and eventually the conjunction of those comorbidities will kill you. Prognosis is about 5 years. So it's slow. It's not as fast as I was thinking of sarcoma. And that gives time. It buys me time because I'm like thinking, okay, it's not as aggressive. So I've got time, right? But I don't want to live with this for 5 years. I want to get rid of it. So that's my task for the next year, is to fight this back and digest these tumors using many different and I'm doing it. I mean, I had 2 doctors palpate my tumors and compare them to the MRI, and they were like, huh, I can feel them. I'm so sorry it's hurting you. I can feel them, and they are definitely broken from the main MRI that I'm looking at. So in the main MRI, where the radiation completely missed the tumors because they looked at the organ boundaries and they said, you're okay. And they completely dismissed the sort of cotton wool fogginess that was clumping around my organs. And the tumor was about the size of a grapefruit in my pelvis. Hi Brady. I'm just video logging the progress of my cancer journey, so I apologize for not being too conversational. The last week, it's been 2 weeks since the formal diagnosis. The last week, I guess with a conjunction of knowing what I'm fighting now, it's got a target on its back, I know what I need to do. The combination of knowing what it is that I'm fighting and actually starting a medication that's going to interrupt one of the disease mechanisms. So it's not a cure, it's treatment, it's just a management protocol to slow the growth of the tumors down. Thanks, Brady. He says you're very pretty. I have lesions on my face. I'm not self-conscious about this disease anymore because honestly, I feel there's no point me trying to cover it up, put makeup on, or because the lesions keep coming up and hurting, and I smell bad. I smell really bad. I smell like I'm rotting or I'm moldy. Because it's not just that self-hygiene's gone out the window, but it is extremely difficult when you're suffering with the disease and stuff comes out of you. It's kind of gross. It's like, dude, my belly button is leaking. So gross. And I said to my friend who's also got the same disease, I mean, this is just kind of weird. This is a rare disease. It's so rare. Why would 2 people have the same disease that happen to work together? And it just made me think, I don't think it's that rare. I think people just don't know about it. And I said to my friend, you know, I get these weird, my belly button was bleeding. 2 weeks, it was just oozing. And there was all stuff coming out of it. It was gross, and it's really painful. It's not just like, oh, it's just weeping a little bit. It was like, I could feel the pain in my nerves as though they were coming from my bits from below. It was just really weird. So usually in metastatic diseases, what happens is the tumoral growth, the metastatic behavior follows all the fatty lines and the fascia tissue, and the trunk, the root of it all is the umbilical. So by the time it enters the umbilical and starts spinning the calcium crystals that literally tear up your fatty tissue, so your belly button starts to weep, and it's painful because it's hitting through nerves. My friend, yeah, my belly button's bleeding, it's kind of weeping, and he said, oh, I get that too. I'm like, whoa, what? Hi Daniel. Daniel says, you're doing well today and better news. Nice to see you again. It's good to be graphic as you are because it's helping others better. Yeah, this is TMI, you know, and I think people need to know about it because I suffered for many years before this disease discovered, and now when I look back over it, if there'd been a doctor, someone that said, oh, maybe you should think about this, like, I could have had a target on its back so much earlier. But my goal is, I want people to feel reassured that this disease behaves just like cancer. If I can stop this disease and I can regress it, because I'm targeting the same metabolic processes, then that means that people with cancer also have a chance. Check this out. She's being really cute. She's looking out of the basket. She's such so yeah, I'm just video logging because my energy levels in the last week are slowly returning. I'm still not able to crawl out of bed until like midday or something. Sorry, I keep picking my face. It's just hurting. It's just sore. But I think with the news that this wasn't a malignancy, even though it felt like it, because the symptomatic distribution is quite extreme. There's a difference between acute illnesses and chronic illnesses in that acute illnesses, you're on this decline. Or such point as your organs start to fail, or you cannot intake nutrition, or your swallowing is impeded and then you have to have a feeding tube or something, I don't know, hospice. With chronic illness, it's a kind of stairwell downwards. So there's a deep decline when you have a flare-up, which could last 6 months. And there she goes again. She's poking her head out to check out. So those last about 3 to 6 months because your immune cells live for 90 days. Your blood cells live for 90 days. And in that time period, if there is a mutation or an overpopulation of metabolically messed up cells, those daughter cells continue the activity. So your job when you're in the middle of a flare is to stop that metabolic activity so that those mutated cells can die off and they are replaced with a healthier population of cells. That's why the flare-ups last 3 to 6 months. Hey Bino, what is it, baby? I'll move the camera closer so that my bunnies can be with me because they want the attention. So anyway, with chronic illness, you've got this stair decline of health. Daniel says, doctors seem to live in their own world. You, well, walk in with a specific number of questions that you want specific answers to. Yeah, and they don't know the answers. they just like have this prognosis for you, which is like, oh, this isn't going to kill you. But if you have comorbidities, so you've got more than one chronic illness, which is affecting more than one part of your metabolics, when that conjunction align, that can kill you, that can take away your life. So with chronic, you'll have this stairwell decline, you decline in your health, and then you manage to recover from that when you fight it back. But it's a constant decline. And with acute illnesses, you're just in this decline until the end. So that is why this is about 5 years. Because they expect you to kind of fight and fight and fight, recover somewhat, and then lose it again. Anyway, my goal really to get rid of these tumors, and because those tumors, when they are in conjunction with my other chronic illness, which is MCAS, it's a disease of the immune system. if I can push back the unhealthy population of cells that are mutated, then theoretically the healthy cells can take over. So that's my goal, is to try and displace the mutated cells with healthy cells. And I can do that by starving out the unhealthy cells, because the unhealthy cells rely on a certain metabolism. They rely on you eating carbs because they ferment carbs. There are other medications that you can do targeted during a state of ketosis, nutritional ketosis, because then the cancer can't metabolize, it can't grow, right? So then if you do your targeted treatment during this phase of nutritional ketosis, you're going to regress things. So that's my thought. That's what I've been doing for the last 3 months, and it's been working, because the last time I went to see the doctor like a week ago to sort of like just do the extension on my medical leave, he actually palpated my tumors and felt that they had in fact broken apart from the main tumor. But just breaking up is really painful, because I mean, it's like I'm breaking up pumice stones inside my body that then abrade my nerves. So I'm going to sign off now. The bunnies are happy now, they're grooming each other, and I'm gonna carry on with my personal treatment. Actually, you know what I might do is I might just jump in the pool for a second. What's this, Bino? You got something by your eye and it's really bugging me. I need to go.
He looks like he's doing that way. He looks like he's doing that way.
Right.
He looks like he's also
Do you have water or anything?
Okay.
Your uncle used to have rabbits out of the house.
No, Daddy. I hit a rabbit when I was at my old school. When I was playing with time.
Yeah. No spices, no spices.
Let me. Come to a little one. Okay. Whoa. It's okay. You have your floaty wrappers out. Oh yeah. Come on, don't be afraid. Oh, I see rabbit. It's okay, my butt. Don't push me. No, like that.
Oh, he's cleaning himself. Oh, there's two.
Ow! He kind of looks like
It looks like you when you want to keep him. Awesome rabbits. So cool. There's two in there?
Yeah, there's two.
What are their names?
This one's Bino, and one is Baby Girl, and he's sitting on her at the moment. He's sitting on her.
Huge.
He's a giant, and she's a dwarf bunny. She's a dwarf. So
How old are they?
So he's 5 years old and she's 7.
Have you had their little babies?
I've had her since she was a little baby, but I got him last year. I rescued him.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he was a meat farm bunny.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm glad you rescued them. That's
yeah.
awesome.
But they're a lot of work because he is just a trauma bunny. He's traumatized from the meat farm, so he's just constantly afraid of everything.
I did. Come on.
Hey, you get too close to them.
I
Come back
just.
over. I know, but you don't be splashing because I don't want you splashing the bunny.
It's okay, you're not getting out.
Go with him. He'll catch you. He'll catch you. No, because I don't want you to kick because you're gonna splash. I don't want you to splash. You wanna go here to help? Say hi.
I honestly thought he was. I thought he was smaller than 50. I know.
Oh, you can touch the ground? Don't dump your head. Don't dump your head. Just look.
You're a good boy. Huh? You're a good boy.
Let him help you, guys. Let him help you. Huh?
Are these real bubbles? Huh? These bubbles? No touching the floor. What? I got it! Hey, neighbor, don't my head. You can't do it because maybe you can do that. So, no, I can do it. What? Oh, this is how I do it. This is how I do it.
You okay, Bino?
That's my way.
Huh?
And I want to do it my way. I'm Yes, we went to Washington.
Wait, baby girl, cut it out. Stop it. Stop it. Come on. No. You're okay. Come on.
If you're gonna be in here, you're not gonna splash. Or I'm gonna put you in that pool. You want that pool?
All right. Yeah, these two still fight. Sadly. I wish they would not. I've had them together now. They've been together for nearly 10 months and they still squab. And this is what this training is about. I'm trying to get them to bond, but yeah, they still don't want it.
To be in here, apparently has to. No, you have to be. this is what the unsupervised use by persons under the age of 14 is prohibited. Well, you're not supposed to. No, because your parents are here. But they're supervising you. Well, I'm right here. I'm watching you.
I don't have swimming.
See?
Okay.
Did you not see me? Did you not see me swim across the
No, because by the time,
Dad, did you remember swim class?
yeah, we did swim class for a little bit. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the next story.
On the tail. Sorry, is my old teacher. Sorry, is my old teacher. And she's gonna help me swim. Because he knows how to swim. A lot of people.
Swim instructor. What'd you tell him?
I think you can swim on video.
Don't forget.
I put my head.
Good. Like you can.
I'm gonna dunk my head in the pool. I'm gonna dunk my head in the
Okay, I'm gonna end the stream there.